have got to be kidding me. The Oilers lose in the most Oiler way imaginable. 0.4 seconds left in the third period. Reilly Smith puts one on net after two Oilers sell out. Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse goes around Stuart Skinner, and Leon Draisaitl banks it in as the Vegas Golden Knights win it 4-3. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show on Edmonton Sports Talk. An absolutely insane finish to what was another highly entertaining, exciting, event-filled game, and we're going to break it all down for you. The Oilers fall, like I said, 4-3 with 0.4 seconds left on the clock. Text us, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. That is, you knew it was going to be a crazy night, but that was an insane finish. You tie it up. Well, first of all, let's start with this. The Oilers built up a 2-goal lead. Can't hang on to it. 2 goals in 54 seconds. The Golden Knights storm back. Take the air out of the building, as Belle kept reminding me in the press box tonight. Then the Golden Knights take the lead in the second period. Then the Oilers tie it late off a nice bank play by Connor McDavid. Was it lucky? Yes. Was it skill? Probably. A combination of both. And you get yourself a chance. Then there's like 9 seconds left. Brett Kulak puts the puck, into the corner. The Golden Knights swing it back, dump it in, pick it up. Reilly Smith, all he has to do is go around Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, who both sell out. And then he tucks it past Stu Skinner. It's going wide. And Leon Draisaitl, and Hernan, you said it, I'll let you say it again. Leon Draisaitl banks it in, and the Golden Knights win it. So, Nanso, what did you say to me about that game-winning goal?
I said
right before we went on there.
I said it's fitting that Leon it deflects it in because he was awful on the night.
He had a bad night.
I'm already seeing it. Everybody's blaming Skinner. That's the norm when Stuart Skinner plays. Well,
he wasn't good tonight.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't good tonight.
But let's look at the goals. The first one, Leon Draisaitl turnover leads directly to a goal. The third goal,
yes.
Leon Draisaitl turns it over. They get stuck in their zone. They get possession, Tom, and they go off on a lazy change. Hanifin with a brilliant play in the neutral zone to push it back up ice again. And then, like you said, the last goal, Kulak, what are you doing, man? Like, there's got to be a better play out there. I'm still stunned, Tom. I texted the GF and I said, so much for an earlier night. And then I swear, like not even a minute and a half later, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it was telling because Reilly Smith skated to the bench and they all started hugging. They must have seen it before. Obviously, the refs did.
Their video coach had it for them ready to go.
And listen, Skinner, and this is the issue, Tom, that, yes, some of those were tough and sure. But that's the difference between right now, the two goaltenders. One will give you one of those saves. The other one's not right now. And listen, I'm not putting this all on Stuart Skinner, but you lost the game 4-3. You give him you give him a lot of life, I think. Scoring with 0.4 left on the clock. But for me, Tom, the first 10 minutes, the Oilers were everything. They did exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
And then Vegas completely took over on a bad Leon Draisaitl turnover that leads to a goal. Tom, it took them 13 minutes to get their third shot on net in the third period. Like this coming back stuff and waiting and all this stuff. It's you're not going to win every game. You're not going to come back every game. It finally caught up to them, and look how it happened, man. It's unbelievable how they lost this game. And again, they were, like you said, lucky goal by McDavid. And again, they were there to win this game, not being the best team on the ice.
Yep.
But for me, I'm sorry, man. Like if we're gonna start pointing fingers, for me, the top guy is Leon Draisaitl. Your top players can't be playing like that, Tom. Sorry.
I do not like Stuart Skinner's game tonight. I don't know how he played that last one. I didn't like the way he played that last one. But the fact that two guys sell out and it was so easy, like you can't even let the guy get a chance on the net with so little time left. And then Smith goes around and then Draisaitl puts it in his own net. You said it's fitting. He had a bad night. He made a lot of mistakes. That line change, his line, him included. Here's another thing about that line change before I get into the scoring summary here. That line change for that goal, they got hemmed in. They were tired.
Yeah.
And Leon's not moving his feet. They soft dump it out. Okay? They soft dump it out. They don't want to take the icing. Leon kind of looks at it, looks at the bench, and he could have went and just put pressure on while his two wingers changed.
Yeah.
Looks at it, looks back at the bench, kind of shuffles towards the bench. That was another one of the indicators, one of many indicators he was not having a good night. Terrible. I don't know what Brett Kulak was doing. Eat the rest of there's like less than 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Eat it. Then it comes back the other way, and everybody's flopping around like they're going swimming.
Well,
and then your own guy
mode, right?
puts it in his own net.
They're in panic mode at that point, Tom. And then listen, this is not about blaming one or two guys. This is a team effort.
There's a lot of blame that needs to go around.
A lot of blame to go around. But for me, Leon led directly to 2 goals. 2. And I'm not talking about the 4th one. I'm not.
That's brutal, yeah. Got a guy in a Draisaitl jersey saying that's how it goes.
That's
awful, awful. Yeah.
He's coming back with a career game.
He says he's coming back with a career game. I like that.
The Germans have precision.
The Germans have precision. There you go. Draisaitl faithful.
Look at that.
They better not forget. There you go.
I'm half German myself.
He says he's half German himself. All right.
But I'm third generation Canadian.
Okay. Let's get to the scoring summary. And I should remind folks that GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They're the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Okay, text us. You already are. But I'll remind everybody, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as
Tommy,
well. Yes, Hernan.
I'm going to try to get it for us, but there's a picture from Dan Tenser at 3-3 with 0.6.9 right before William Karlsson entered the zone. It's a 1-on-4, Tom.
I know.
With 6.9 seconds left.
I know. Just terrible attention to detail. Absolutely atrocious attention to detail tonight. And somehow they got themselves back into it. You're flirting with disaster. If you can't hold a lead, they got the lead tonight. So many issues with tonight's game, and they still almost managed to force overtime, but they lose in the most epic way. The Golden Knights obviously now galvanized. They're going to have a bunch of confidence going into Monday night's Game 4. You blew it. You blew it. Shawn Belle with us here as well, and I know Cass will be joining us shortly. Bellsy hopping on here. All right, let's get into the scoring summary. For tonight, in the first period, things started fantastic for the orange and blue. Corey Perry gets everything going at 7:19. His 4th of the postseason from McDavid and Draisaitl. Then you got Evan Bouchard. Sets up Corey Perry for with the point shot. Perry, the redirection. Perry's 5th. That one coming on the power play. Nugent Hopkins, the second helper at 11:12. Everything's looking good until Nicholas Waugh, of course. He got fined $7,000 or just under $8,000 and gets to play after cross-checking Trent Frederick in the face in Game 2. He scores his 2nd of the playoffs on a rebound where Stuart Skinner didn't know where the puck was. Haig and Colas are the assists at 15-17. Then, as Shawn put it earlier, this sucked the wind out of the building. Reilly Smith, his 2nd of the postseason. A compounding error situation, as always, as Cass likes to allude to. Eichel finds Reilly Smith. Smith goes in, walks through everybody, beats a forward on who's defending. I think Klingberg went for the hit on Eichel, and Smith tucks it between the pads of Stuart Skinner to make it 2-2 at 16:11. To the second period we go. We were just talking about that goal by William Karlsson. Terrible line change attempt. The guys were gassed, and they bites them in the ass. Pietrangelo over to Hanifin. Hanifin to Karlsson. He buries it at 17:05. 3-2 Vegas in the third period. And then in that third period, Connor McDavid banks one in off of Braden McNabb, his 3rd of the playoffs from Bouchard and Draisaitl at 16:58. We're going to overtime, right? Wrong. Reilly Smith, a 1-on-4, as Hernan just mentioned, because Tenser put up the picture of it. Reilly Smith gets by McDavid and Nurse, and I don't know where Stu Skinner was going. I honestly don't, with that little time left. Stay in your friggin' net. Stay in your friggin' net. Just swat it away, for crying out loud. What's he going to do with less than 2 seconds left? Instead, you go for a little sojourn, and then Reilly Smith just puts it at the net, and of course, Leon Draisaitl, having an awful night, banks it in. 4-3 with 0.4 seconds left on the clock. The Oilers lose game 3 by a score of 4-3. Shots on goal tonight, 24-20 in favor of the Golden Knights. Faceoffs, 57.7% for Edmonton, a 42.3%. Power play, 1 for 2 tonight. So they actually win the special teams battle. That's a bonus. That's a plus. Yeah. The PK goes 2 for 2. Hits, 42-33 in favor of Vegas. Block shots, 17-13 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways officially 17 for the Oil, 14 for the Knights. Takeaways, 5 for Vegas, 4 for Edmonton. It is a 4-3 final, and the Oilers lose in the worst way as we welcome in Shawn, Belle, Matty Kassian standing by as well. Bellsy, you're going to stay in with Cass if that's cool with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so I'm going to adjust the camera here. And we can bring in Cass too if you want, Hernan. But just start out with what you thought. You kept saying the air got sucked out of the building on the 2-2 goal, but the way they lost that, Bellsy, that was insane.
Yeah, the way they lost that game was that was very tough. I mean, I think everybody's probably in shock. Walking down the street trying to get here, it was a weird energy.
Yeah.
Because I think people were in disbelief on the way that they lost that game. But yeah, like you said, I was alluding to it multiple times, is the fact that, the air was sucked out of the building. But it happened right after that first goal, then the second goal, and instantaneously, there was no life in the building. And
none.
It took a while for them to get it back. There wasn't much sustained energy. There wasn't much sustained pressure. And then all of a sudden, they get a little bit of life. Then it kind of goes from there. So it was a very, very interesting game, back and forth. It was just I don't even have words for it.
It's
Wild.
insane. Well, I know somebody who will definitely have words for it. Let's bring in our game analyst, Matt Kassian, for the breakdown. The breakdown is always brought to you by Southport Chev. Cass is ready. I can see he's chomping at the bit. Southport Chev. Our good friends over there. Drive a little, save a lot. It's also an opportunity to get the buy now and save 0% financing OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. If you haven't gotten your tires changed over from your winters, they'll do a seasonal tire change service on rim. Tell them EST sent you. You'll get it for $59.95 plus tax. They're also doing discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details, www.southportchev.com. All right, Cass. I mean, Bellsy tried, and I think he gave a good synopsis of what happened. But at the end, he goes, I'm at a loss for words. I'm baffled, but at the same time, not surprised. And, of course, only the Oilers can make people feel this way.
Yeah, well, really, they come from behind again to get back in that game, and I didn't think they were going to. I thought this was going to be the one time. Well, now all of a sudden it's done. The Cinderella run of coming back in games is over, and it looked like it wasn't, and then all of a sudden it was again. And the thing that was tough tonight, guys, was it wasn't just one player. And I know Skinner's going to take, and rightfully so, on that last goal, take a lot of heat. Draisaitl's going to take a lot of heat on that last goal and other plays, but really there's a lot of other guys too that were passengers this night. Offensively, until midway or really late in the third period, I mean, you were running at 3 shots in that third period. Offensively, they were just not there today. They did not have much. Flabbergasted just doesn't begin to describe how they let in the game-winning goal. Again, just the cascade of massive errors by every single guy on the ice, just absolutely unbelievable. So, I mean, I'm to an extent, Bellsy, speechless too, because it was just bloody painful. That's a painful way to end a game.
It really is. It was a bit of that emotional roller coaster in the arena. You can feel it. You're sitting up there in the press box in the stands, and it's just okay, there's nothing here. There's absolutely zero sustained pressure. I couldn't even describe it as one and dones because they didn't even get into the zone. And if they did, it was offside. And I've actually never seen that many offsides in an NHL hockey game in a long time. It was crazy. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they wake up for a split second, the puck's in the back of the net, the roof blows off the building, and so you're riding this wave of emotion, and then for whatever odd reason, Karlsson is able to beat you up the ice, he dumps his puck in, and the reality is he beats 3 guys to the puck. And all 3 of those guys are fast hockey players. Connor McDavid, Brett Kulak, and Darnell Nurse. They're 3 fast hockey players, and somehow he puts the puck into the front of the net. And then from there, it's like, guys, what are we doing? It's crazy. I can't even explain it.
Bellsy, I was looking at the goal again, and it comes around the boards, boys, and it looks like Karlsson just flips it out in front, right? Like, I don't know if Kulak had the time to kind of cradle it and kind of tie it up. It looked like maybe, I got to look at it again, boys, but maybe it's just a good play by Karlsson. And I know it's 1-on-4 coming in.
Yeah. It's a good play by Karlsson to throw it to the front of the net, and there's nothing for him to lose. 3 seconds left. Nothing happens. Oilers aren't going to go the other direction. But it's the 3 Edmonton Oilers on the 4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
4 Edmonton Oilers on the freaking goal line, all turning at the same time, and then 1.5 guys on their bellies. And I know defensemen do things different. And Bellsy, maybe you could talk about this, because I want to get here tonight. This is a place I want to get to, because as a forward, I never understood this. I still don't understand it. Still don't like it. Is aside from a 2-on-1, why would you ever, as a defenseman, slide on your belly anywhere on the ice? Happened 2 times tonight. 2 goals on 2 plays for Darnell Nurse, sliding on his belly, completely out of position. But it just baffles me. So, Bells, if you want to talk about that, maybe jump in on it. But my goodness, guys, it's the goal line.
There's not much to say about it. I disagree with it too. I always find that when you leave your feet like that, you can't recover. Even if you go down to one knee and try to make yourself big, and the puck gets through you, you still have the ability to recover. So I personally do not teach it to any of my players, any of my kids. I do not like doing the slide block on your belly, because you're completely out of the play. So I fully agree with you, Cass. But Hernan, I want to, if you watch that play back, like, it looks like Kulak stopped skating, and he probably could have at least tied Karlsson to that puck. And if he does do that, maybe that puck's not getting out. Like, great play by Karlsson. You got to give him his flowers. But to me, this should be a nothing play.
Yes.
It should be a nothing play. It shouldn't even be out in front of the net, let alone in the back of your net. And, hey, 1 guy goes down to try to block. 2 guys can't go down to try to block. This isn't Kevin Constantine hockey. Stand on your feet. Stuart Skinner, why are you chasing?
Can I ask you guys something really quickly? How is there such a lack of awareness? You're kind of touching on it, obviously. Just box him out and not let him get to the middle. Why?
You can't, because guys are on their belly. Kulak should just, box him out. That's what Kulak should do, and he kind of ties him up there. But you had 3 guys, other guys, aside from Kulak, because Kulak's allowed to be down there. He's allowed to be the guy that goes. He can be below the goal line. He's okay to at least go down there. Now, hard to see, exactly where.
Play it again, Hernan.
Yeah, but everyone else, like those 3 guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then Stuart Skinner is the cherry on the cake for that play, in that he pushes and double pushes for I don't know what. But yeah, so if we watch again here, like Kulak, fine. What are the other 3 guys doing? What are they doing? What's Leon doing? Watch Leon's, like, if we play it again, watch Leon's path as he skates. Watch his path as he skates. It flabbergasts me. So here's a question.
Ooh.
We saw against the LA Kings in game 1, the magical comeback, right? Huge comeback, not just a 1 goal, but a magical, massive comeback. And, your top guys have been on the ice for a lot of minutes towards the end of the game. And Knoblauch puts out tired guys in that game 1 against LA, and you get scored on. Again, you get beat. You're tired. Guys don't get back into their own zone well, and you get beat. Kind of looks like the same thing happens here. Does it not? Like, can we, so 4 out of 5 guys on the ice are at fault. Actually, maybe 5 out of 6, let's say, because we got to include Skinner in that. So 5 out of 6 guys on the ice are at fault. But Knoblauch has to bear some of this too, in my opinion, again, because he also put out guys that have been playing, double shifting the entire second half of that period, and it probably only had 30 to 40 seconds of bench time in the last 3 minutes. Like, man, there's so many things that are frustrating on this.
Man, I agree with you. And I go back to that series, and I think that he's just trying to go for the win. And that's honestly seems what it's like.
Okay.
And
but game 3, you don't.
It's right there.
Guys, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying that's what it seemed like. He was trying to go for the win because guys were hot. There was opportunities where they missed some nets. There was one, I think Nurse just missed Hyman, or Hyman had a shot deflection. It just went high. To me, it looked like he was trying to coach to win. And unfortunately, sometimes you get a little bit overzealous with doing that, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's like a minute left. These guys have been out here for, 3.5 of the last 5 minutes. You probably should pull back the reins a little bit and live to fight another day. But, it is what it is there, I guess.
I just want to say it, boneheaded.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I've
had a bonehead. The more we talk about it, the more I just think how boneheaded they played that final 10 seconds.
Well, I mean, I would say it's more than just the final 10 seconds.
Being nice.
The final 10 seconds is just a microcosm of the rest of the game. But, I mean, from the time that Vegas scored the second goal, to me it got really sloppy. There was icings, there was offsides, there's just missed passes. They couldn't do anything on the rush, and it was just sloppy hockey. And then all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes of that third period, they kind of have a little bit of a spark again, and that's a problem. Like, to me, and this is just my opinion, but if they don't have that massive dip, they win the game. The massive dip was the ability for Vegas to come on and allow them to kind of stay in the game. But, like, Edmonton's a better hockey team than Vegas. I'm sorry, but that's just facts. When I'm watching it, like, I'm looking at this thing, when they play, they are better.
But they didn't play tonight, Belzy. Like, and I know they were up 2-0. I know they were up 2-0. Like, I know they get the lead. I know the building was feeling it, and the building felt the momentum. But the first 2 shifts in that hockey game, if you go back and you watch, the Edmonton Oilers tried and failed to get out of the zone 3 times with any kind of speed. They got to the blue line, right back in. Got to their own blue line, right back into their own zone. Got to their blue line again, right back in their own zone. And I was like, oh, boy. Like, they're in one. Now, you get the Perry goal, and you get the other Perry goal. And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? Not the best start. We've seen them not start great before. They do get a couple goals here. Now it's time to see them just roll, because you have all the momentum. If the big boys turn it on, if everyone starts playing well, if everyone kind of just starts to drive, I'm like, it's done. And the series is done, because if you go up 3, you win the series, really. And but then they just fell flat. Like, they got the second goal, and immediately after that, Vegas pushed, and Edmonton just kind of.
It was that first goal that Vegas scored, and you can argue whether it's a good goal or not. It doesn't even matter. It was a minute that goal was scored. It was like somebody took a pin and they popped this balloon, and the air went out of the building. It was quiet. There was like a nervous energy. And then how many seconds after that?
54.
54 seconds later, boom, and then it was completely dead. So, like, you could feel it. Like, the nice thing about being up in the press box, and you guys know this, is you can kind of see everything. It's like that 30,000-foot view where you get to see everything. And it just, like, it wasn't good in the building. The vibe wasn't good. You could see the body language of the players. It looked off after that first goal.
Yeah.
Nance, so you want to jump in with anything? You got any texts you want to go?
Well, 17 turnovers, as I think you said, Tom, by the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, that's going to lead to it. And guys, keep in mind, Mark Stone played 6 minutes tonight. That's one of their better top
injured.
6 forwards. And I know he's slowed down this year and all that, but he's a big factor on their power play. Their power play struggled today. So this could be a big news for them as well. But again, the Oilers catch a big break. One of the top 6 guys for the Vegas Golden Knights is out for, let's just call it the entire game here, and they can't find a way. And it's just those 17 turnovers are the main reason, guys. And of course, Leon Draisaitl leading the way with 4, with 2 directly leading to goals. So they got to clean it up. This is back-to-back games, boys, where Vegas has been the better team. I agree with Bellsy. I think the Oilers are a better team overall on paper. Whatever you want to call it. But the last 2 games, it's been Vegas, carrying the play for the most of it, outside of maybe 30 minutes, maybe 25 for the Oilers in the last 6 periods.
Yeah, Vegas has carried more. Absolutely, Hernan. They absolutely have carried more. But then you see those moments when Edmonton does actually play, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the team. Much like we saw in game 1, where like, oh yeah, this is the team. These are the guys. These guys can dominate. They can do it. I want to jump in just because as always, even without saying anything, actually, even with blaming Stuart Skinner, I always take heat for Stuart Skinner, even though I'm saying there was horrible about him on that play, which I think it was. But I want to say, guys, I want you to give some feedback and maybe give me your thoughts, both of you, on the play of Stuart Skinner, because in my opinion, 4th goal, he absolutely is a big part of the problem there by over pushing, over sliding. Don't know why he's out there. Shouldn't happen. But outside of that, he made some huge saves in the 3rd. Like he played, he kept them in it actually with a couple massive saves in the 3rd. But what do you guys think overall? Outside of that last one, what did you guys think of Stuart Skinner?
Yeah, I thought he was shaky to start, then he was good, and then he was shaky to finish. He was literally the building. He rode the wave of momentum, and it was just ups and downs. And hey, I thought after those 2 goals, I thought he recomposed himself. I thought he tried to get himself back into it, and I thought he did actually a good job of getting himself back into it. But I just don't understand that lapse in the 4th goal. That's really what it is at the end of the day.
So many guys had lapses on that 4th goal. I'll reiterate that again, but you're right. What are you doing? Just stay in your damn net. Reilly Smith can't do anything there. There's no time left.
Tommy,
guys, I'll just say this. What?
I just want to, Dusty says this. He just says, crazy thought. Skinner forced Karlsson to shoot it wide. Doesn't go in if Draisaitl doesn't touch it.
Yes,
that's actually facts.
It is true.
That's true.
That is true.
It is true. And Draisaitl tips it, right? It's not going in. Kulak had him Karlsson tied up on the far side of the net, so he wasn't going to be able to punt it in. So yes, that's true, but it shouldn't have got to that point anyways. Like if he pushes back to his post, he just do a VH, do a reverse VH, do whatever you want there, and it's basically a fluttered puck towards you. Right, and it's nothing. So I get that, and that's where Leon bears responsibility, and the other guys bear responsibility, probably even more so than Skinner on this. But Stuart Skinner should have been in his net, and it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
Yeah, it's a 1-on-2 really in front of the net, and I think it's Connor and Darnell, and they both go down. Only one of them has to. One of them should just force. Connor should just force him. You're right in the lane already. Either you eat that puck or you try to go stick on puck and you force him. That split second, that extra movement that he's going to have, now Leon can just go after him as well. But they both sell out thinking that he's coming down Main Street and he's going to rip this thing. That right there probably is the difference. Don't go down and make him make one extra move. One extra move probably ends the game.
All I'm going to say about Stu Skinner tonight, you guys nailed it. But I'm watching that game tonight, and I'm going, okay, let's see if Stu finds a groove, finds a rhythm. It looked like it was okay to start, but that first one goes in. He's like trying to hang on. He falls awkwardly. It dribbles down. Waugh just puts it in the empty net. I'm like, that's not good. And then the second one, God, there was a bunch of issues.
Walked
Yeah.
on that one.
Yes. Exactly.
Everyone, guys. Everyone. We could go through like 4 things that happened.
Yes.
100%.
Breakdowns.
But-
Every goal against.
How I was going to sum it up, you guys, is I'm watching and I'm looking to see him find a rhythm. And it didn't seem like he ever found a rhythm to the point where every puck that went to the net, I thought had a chance to go in. And that's not good. The last time I felt that way about an Oilers goalie was Jack Campbell, and that's not good. Now, to your point, Cass, he made some huge saves. He really did, and I thought that was him battling. I think of the 2 hurdle saves he made in the second period, I thought were outstanding. But then, he builds it, and then, boom, it all collapses like a house of cards because he can't make the simple save. Or there's one where you're like, what are you doing on that? And then all that good fortune and all that good stuff that he builds up, it just goes right outside the window.
Can I play devil's advocate just quickly? Do you think Stuart Skinner chases because he's trying to get Reilly to make that one extra move to kill the time?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I think that's the thought. I still don't like it. I don't agree with it. I think it was wrong, and I know what he's doing, but I think that is why. Like, his thought is if he pushes out and he forces him to take the extra step around, clock's down. He's playing the clock in it. Like, he's betting, there's not enough time.
He's playing some percentages at that point.
He's playing percentages on that. Like, that's the thought. That's the play. But I think it's the wrong one. I think it's the wrong one because, you need to have faith in yourself that even if he does get a shot off from that angle, that you're going to save it. So I don't like that thought, but that's probably what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get to some text, 780-218-9999. The Oilers lose 4-3 in the most unbelievable way. The Oilers going to Oiler. The Oilers going to Oiler. That's it. And we've said it on our station, on multiple shows. Fans have said it. Our listeners and viewers have said it. The Oilers beat the Oilers. And that happened tonight. And all due respect and credit to the Vegas Golden Knights who kept pushing, stayed in it, stuck with it. All those cliches, they earned what they got. But then the Oilers also gave them more than they needed to. And the Knights took advantage. They're still a really good team. Let's get to a few texts here. 780-218-9999. We'll go to Hans Shorkoff first. Hans Shorkoff says Skinner was the only reason they were in the game with 3.5 minutes left for Connor to tie it. He made 3 or 4 great saves in the second, another in the third. Yep. They didn't make Hill make a single good save. If he is in his net and Smith shoots it, then everybody would question why he wasn't aggressive. But there was no time to shoot it. Say that again?
I said it's probably not in the net.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then Hans Shorkoff finishes off with half an hour in, and it's been about Skinner. The team had 13 shots through 2 periods when trailing. Hans Shorkoff, we have said it so many times how bad that the team played in front of Skinner tonight. They were sloppy. They handed it to him. Bellsy talked about how deflated they are. We have to talk about every element that was a deficiency tonight. And unfortunately, Stu Skinner was one of those things. He's not the only reason why they lost this game tonight. Leon Draisaitl had a horrendous game. We've talked about that. He put the damn puck in his own net. It was going wide. We've said that. But man, there's a lot that went into this loss, and we're covering all the bases. That's what I'm going to say. Juan said Stu did make some big saves. I'm actually pleasantly surprised and appreciate the fact that people are defending Stu Skinner.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's very different than normal, but...
you guys haven't looked at the nasty chat yet, so just wait for it.
Doing it on purpose.
Yeah, well... Okay, couple more here. Ontario Momes says the Oilers hate leads and momentum as much as Dusty hates red onions, and says maybe this kick to the plum game-winning goal off of Leon's stick will slap him back into reality after that game. All right, Ontario Momes taking a peek ahead. If you're the Vegas Golden Knights, guys, how much of a confidence boost is tonight's win? Bellsy, we'll start with you, then Cass.
I don't know. I think that in Game 2, they probably thought they deserved it, and they didn't get the win. You come in here today, you're down 2, you battle back, you carry large stretches of the game, and you're able to squeak it out. Like they come back and you're able to squeak it out. Like I don't know if it's a massive confidence builder, but I think what it did was like it just got them back into the series, and it just gave them the we can win this if we just play the right way and limit our mistakes and allow them to make the mistakes. So I don't know if it's like, oh, now I've got all this crazy confidence because you beat them, but it does just solidify the fact of the way that they play against the Oilers. They play patient. They collapse to the house. They have good body position. They have good sticks. They make it hard for you to break through the middle because their defense is a bunch of sequoia trees. And then once the Oilers make those mistakes, we'll go capitalize. That's what I think really hammered home.
All right, Cass, go ahead.
Hey, Vegas is just going to be going to build momentum here. And I've talked about how this series was different. I've said that multiple times than the LA series in terms of the momentum carrying over game to game. But internally inside that Vegas room, they're going to be talking about it and trying to build it, right? They're going to be like, oh, look, we got this momentum now. We got the win. We were better than them in game 2. We are better than them now. We were better than them in game 2. We were better than them in game 3. We only got one win, but we're back at it here, and they're going to be pushing that. And for Edmonton, I mean, you got to be pushing like, hey, we have better when we are playing how we're capable of. We are a way better team. That's what you're going to be saying in Edmonton. And who knows? Maybe someone get Leon Draisaitl an ice bag or something because guy needs to pick it up or hopefully heal quickly.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of which, I had an interesting conversation tonight. I said, I'll give Leon, I was having a conversation with someone from the team. I said, I'll give Leon the benefit of the doubt. I know he's a little bit nicked up. And the reply I got was, is he? So maybe he's not as banged up as we initially thought, you guys. So maybe he just played like, tonight. And that's a possibility. All right, Cass, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hear from Stu Skinner, and then we're going to get some final thoughts and a look ahead from you. Sound good?
Sounds awesome.
All right, let's go to Stu Skinner.
Yeah, felt like the game was pretty quick in the first probably 5 minutes, and then kind of settled down. Obviously, lots of energy. I had a lot of excitement. First game in a while, first game at home in the playoffs. So the energy was really high. So yeah, it was nice to go back in there. Not the result that we wanted, obviously, and we'll get better and move forward.
What'd you see on the final goal?
Yeah, I mean, Carlson. He just threw it out there, which you knew he was going to do, and then I thought he was going to shoot it right away. I thought he didn't have that much time, so I kind of just sprawled, went out there. I stayed with him for another half second, and then catches us with 0.4 seconds left. Devastating. But again, things happen. Good bounces, tough bounces. Happens for everybody. So just move forward.
How important do you think for you was it those big saves in the third? Your team's down 3-2. You made a few real key saves.
Yeah, I mean that's a goalie's job is to just give your team a chance to win every night, right? I thought I did. But again, it's just a couple tough bounces here and there. We had a great bounce that kind of went off a skate, went in. Those types of things happen. So, I was happy that I was able to make a couple big saves when we needed. But again, wasn't able to finish it out.
How nervous were you because you hadn't played for so long?
There's definitely some nerves, but it wasn't too bad. I've been in a situation like this a few times. Played a solid amount of NHL games, played a good amount of playoff games, so I know what it's all about. There's obviously some nerves because you want to do well, you want to play well, you want to get the win. So I think everyone's nervous. Playoff hockey.
What else do you just keep yourself ready in case you tap in, letting them get forward?
Yeah, no matter what's going to be happening in the future, I'm going to stay ready. Whenever they call my name, I'll be ready to go in and, just do my best out there.
Stu, Corey Perry noted that, this is the second time in the playoffs, going back obviously game 1, where you guys have allowed a last-minute goal in that fashion to lose the game. What do you kind of make of that? What goes into something like that, I suppose?
I'm not exactly sure. It's completely different scenarios, but you know that they're going to push. yeah, I'm not really too sure how to answer that question, to be honest.
You guys won 6 in a row. It goes pretty well for you for a long time. It's the playoffs. Losses are inevitable. I'm not saying you expect to lose, but is anyone surprised that you didn't 16-0 here?
I mean, 16-0 is pretty close to impossible, but yeah, I mean, we've been hot. We've been able to get our chances. We've been scoring goals. Cal's been playing great, making big saves at big times. So yeah, I mean, expectations is kind of a funny thing. Yeah, you expect us to win, expect us to lose. It doesn't really matter what anybody expects. Nobody really knows what's going to be happening. We had no idea that they were going to score with 0.4 seconds left. You can't really expect too much, so it's our job just to play hard every single night, do our best, show up, be good teammates, and just battle through it. And I think that we've been doing that.
Does the goalie look at the clock? To stop you there in the last few seconds?
Not the last few seconds, no. Just especially when Karlsson's coming in with so much speed. So I'm not really counting down the seconds. I'm more so just I have a awareness that it's not a lot of time. So that's kind of why I played it the way that I played.
Stu, how do you take stock of where the series is at? Could have gone to overtime with a chance to go up 3-0, but you're still up 2-1. How do you kind of balance those two things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're still up by 1. So it's our job just to show up again next night, play our hardest, and try to make this thing 3-1. But again, we can't go chasing that. We got to stick to our process and keep doing what we're doing, play well in all areas of the ice. And I think if we do that, we just give ourselves the best chance.
All right, that was Stuart Skinner following his team's 4-3 loss in dramatic fashion. Skinner tonight, 4 goals on 24 shots. Tom Gazzola, Shawn, Belle, Reid, Wilkins, live on location at the Canadian Ice House in Ice District. And we got Matt Kassian, our game analyst, at his satellite studios. All right, Cass, he sounded pretty composed. He wasn't BSing anybody. What'd you make of what Stu Skinner had to say there?
Well, as we know, goalies are all goalies, and they tell themselves things all the time, whatever they have to keep themselves in a mental state that they can actually try, hopefully, to perform. Because confidence is a fickle thing, and so you need to convince yourself of some things and create your own storylines and motivations and run with it. And I think that's kind of what we heard. He's trying to stay calm, and that if you're the Edmonton Oilers, we talked before we cut to Stuart Skinner about the Vegas Golden Knights going and trying to build the momentum off of everything. And for the Edmonton Oilers, for Stuart Skinner, and it would have been what they were talking about before the media rushed in for that interview, would have been about, hey, we're fine. We're okay. Yeah, it wasn't a great night. We lost 0.4 seconds left. Bad bounce. We're okay. We're good. We're fine. That's the message in the Oilers dressing room. And he's buying into it just like everyone else will in that Oilers room. And then looking ahead, guys, you just got to freaking be better. Is the Edmonton Oilers. You can't turn over pucks at your blue line like crazy. You can't be sliding everywhere on your belly as defensemen all night long. So clean up your rushes against. Clean up what you're doing at your offensive blue line. Maybe actually carry the puck through the neutral zone with speed instead of stopping your feet from moving and getting your pocket picked numerous times tonight, not just on Leon. Happened to a couple other guys too. So clean up your game, play a little bit better, and you'll be fine. That's what's ahead, hopefully, for the Edmonton Oilers.
I'll tell you what, Cass, you were definitely on your game tonight. Excellent analysis as always. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and get ready for Monday, all right?
Thanks, guys. I'll be ready.
That is the breakdown with Matt Kassian, our game analyst. All right, Tom Gazzola, Reid Wilkins, Shawn Belle, and Hernan Salas with you at the Canadian Ice House. Boys, Reid, you just hopping in here. You just finished work in the room. What's your takeaways from tonight?
Well, first of all, I didn't hear what Knoblauch said because I came over here before the coach spoke. I mean, Draisaitl said that obviously he's trying to stop the puck. He doesn't know for sure if it's going in or not, and he puts it in his own net. And he also said they didn't handle that very well. And that's really the tragedy of that situation. Karlsson's down there all by himself with 5 seconds left. Like, handle that. That should be one of the easiest defensive situations to handle, I would think. And then Reilly Smith gets a good look. I thought it was interesting how Skinner explained it. They didn't know exactly how much time was left, but he thought if I go at him, I might make him run out of time. And he kind of did. And then, that puck wasn't going in. But look, the Oilers were the second best team almost the entire game, I thought. I mean, it would have been another theft if they would have pulled this one out. I didn't think they played with a lot of energy. I thought they spent far too much time in their own end chasing the puck around, or I know they kind of play this system where they try to force the puck to go to certain areas, but at some point you got to go get it or win a battle and get it out. That certainly led to the goal that made it 3-2 Vegas. I mean, they were hemmed in for an extended period of time, almost scored twice. Skinner made 2 really good saves, and then they transitioned right back in, and I think on a bit of a sloppy change by the Oilers as well, and that was the 3-2 goal. I wrote down the shots on goal with about 6 minutes left. I think it was 22-16 for Vegas. I mean, the Oilers, did Adin Hill have a good night? I don't know. They didn't test him enough. I mean, he did make 2 good saves, one on Nugent Hopkins and one on McDavid shortly before McDavid did score. No, Vegas was the better team, as they were most of the previous games. So now what they're doing is paying off here, and the Oilers got to respond, because this was I was stunned when the Oilers tied it, because they were not threatening. I did not think they were an offensive threat for the majority of the third period. I'm with you, Tom, and I know Bells and I talked about it up top. Draisaitl doesn't look right. So if he's healthy, then he's in a massive, massive slump, because his puck handling by his standards is not where it usually is. And, Vegas seemed comfortable tonight. They seemed comfortable with the way the game was being played, especially after they tied it. And as we've seen, a 2-goal lead is nothing. A 3-goal lead is massive. The Oilers could have actually gone up 3-0 in the first period. Then maybe you've got Vegas reeling. But then they made it 2-1, and then obviously got the other goal less than a minute later, make it 2-2. And after that point, I thought Vegas owned the game. I mean, they're probably sitting there thinking, how did we not win by more? How did it come down to the final minute, final second?
Yeah, I can't disagree at all. It was just it was an interesting game. Like, it just, the way it was played out, I do like when the Oilers were scoring, when they were playing for that brief moment in the first period, I actually sat there and I was like, this could be like 3 or 4-0. They didn't obviously score some of those goals. Even after the 3-1, after it went 2-1, didn't they have a chance? They came back and Perry almost scored, and then it went back the other way. Is that what it was? But like, there was opportunities to make it 3-1, but they missed some chances. They were just sloppy around the puck. Draisaitl in particular, he doesn't look right. The team didn't look right, and they need to rebound. And I mean, even Connor had his points. But was there a point where, outside of maybe that 5-minute stretch in the third, where you're like, Connor's really, really feeling it right now? Because I didn't feel like that. The last 2 games in particular, I haven't sat there and said, man, Connor is like dominating this series. There's times where he's getting going, or he's trying to, but Vegas does a good job of clogging up the middle of the ice and making it hard for you to get through the middle of the ice. They make it very hard. And so I think that the Oilers are kind of playing into that game, into Vegas's hands with the way that they're playing.
Well, the Oilers, I don't think they forechecked at all. No, any line.
Yeah.
I mean, the third and fourth lines have been good. I mean, put Colson and Arvidsson and Yep. I guess they had a couple decent shifts, but they also were mostly responsible for the second goal against, with some, 8-year-old level stick checking. So, just the Oilers didn't have the detail tonight. They didn't have the energy. They didn't skate. They didn't respond to a lot of the things Vegas were doing. And like I said, Bellsy, I just feel like when Vegas got cycling the puck, the Oilers were playing just a lot of campfire defense, just stand around or watch. Now, it's not as if they wound up peppering Skinner, but I mean, you've been there. I only know from what guys like you tell me. Playing defense is a lot more tiring than playing offense. And the Oilers just spent a lot of time, even if it wasn't like a rugged, kind of defense. It was like, okay, now it's up there, now it's down there. Okay, now we got to do this. And they didn't have the puck enough.
Yeah, fully agree.
Reid, what did you make of? Reid, what did you make of in the third, especially right up until the end there, though? Knoblauch went away from Draisaitl and McDavid on the same line, right? We saw Colton, Arvidsson, Draisaitl, and then he went back to old reliable Nuge with Hyman and McDavid. What'd you make of that decision by Knoblauch?
I honestly think they're trying to get Draisaitl going. And here's the thing. I don't know if you can split up the bottom six right now, because at least you have to give Podkolzin and Arvidsson and Janmark credit for previous games. And, Connor Brown hasn't been as noticeable the last couple of games, but he's had a good playoff with Frederick and Henrique, who are at least reliable. So I guess you got to shuffle it up in the top six, and then the easiest thing to do is split up Connor and Leon and hope maybe, okay, now Leon's bringing the puck up the ice. He's looking to distribute. It's not him and Connor playing a two-man game. He's got to involve his wingers. And, Kane and Hyman, regardless of who they've been with, they've been pretty heavy and playing a straight line game. Like, at least when they're on the ice, you feel like the puck's going to get advanced deeper into the other team's net. So I would guess maybe that's what Knoblauch is thinking, but it's crazy. We're 9 games into the playoffs, and Leon Draisaitl has the 2 biggest goals of the playoffs, but yet we're talking about where is the real playoff Leon Draisaitl, and we're talking about line shuffling to try to get Connor and Leon going a little bit. We're not talking about the absence of depth players for the most part. We're talking about have the big guys gone out and absolutely throttled the other team. I don't even in LA there was a lot of depth scoring that helped along the way.
I have to ask you guys this. In this series, have the Golden Knights forced the Oilers and Draisaitl and McDavid off of their game, or is it self-inflicted? Because I'm sitting there going, like, how much is this just the Oilers being themselves allowing this kind of thing to happen, or is Vegas doing something that I don't recognize out there that is creating these opportunities, I guess, Edmonton, or forcing Edmonton to make what seem like boneheaded mistakes?
It seems to me like they're doing a great job of funneling everything outside. Okay. Right? I know that LA tried to do the same thing, but LA's D isn't the same as Vegas's D. Vegas's D, they're big, they skate, they're somewhat physical. Like, they make it hard for you to break into the middle of the ice. And the Oilers game, at the end of the day, we can all sit here and argue that back and forth if we really want to, but when they're playing at their best, they're getting into the middle of the ice. And so they have been able to keep the Oilers to the outside as much as they possibly can. They do a good job of staying above or trying to match the speed, especially that low forward, trying to match the speed of guys coming in. And they're very positionally sound. Like, they don't chase out of position. They don't go chasing for zero reason. If they're going to chase somebody, well, they've got great angles on them. They're taking away time and space. Like, the guy doesn't even have an opportunity to get his head up and then go make a play. Those are the reasons why they would chase. But outside of that, everything's on the perimeter, and they just do a good job of not allowing guys into the middle of the ice. And I think that's a big problem. And the other thing is that because they're so positionally sound, their sticks are in the right spots. And all of a sudden, they're making these little plays. The Oilers are used to making little plays, but they're getting batted down, or they're just getting disrupted, and it's messing up the timing of the Oilers, especially when there's those neutral zone regroups or set breakouts where guys are swinging. They're swinging to speed, but a guy's standing right there and he gets a piece of it, and it just disrupts everything. And I think that's what's going on.
That's a good point. I did actually put a note down. It seemed like Vegas was getting in all the lanes every time. And I think it was Reilly Smith. There was a seam pass that was sitting there waiting for Leon Draisaitl. It was McDavid that was going to fire it through. And Smith at the last second just put his stick into the slot, knocks it into the corner. A lot of that tonight, Belle. I'm glad you brought that up. All right, this is Reid's Read, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fall in, golfers. Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club is open to the public, and memberships are still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com to enlist. I'm going to read some text, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. RBM says, for sure, Reid, this almost feels like the hockey gods evening things up from the Oilers getting away with Game 2. And yes, McDavid and Draisaitl have not been truly dominant almost in any game in the playoffs yet. Brandon from Windsor says, I'm speechless. That's all. I'll also add, can't win playing 10 minutes out of 60. Tuna Melt texting in says, the tragedy of the situation is that Skinner came 15 feet out of the net when he could have hugged the post and we'd be in overtime right now.
But he did explain why he played it that way. He's trying to run Smith out of time. And plus, if he's hugging the post, then he's not challenging the original shot, and then he's letting him shoot from between the hash marks with him deep in his net. So to that texter, I'd say you can't have it both ways, right? Like if he's hugging the post, the shot would have already come.
I wanted to see him be a little less aggressive, though. I'm not hugging the post, but square up to it. I'm not a goalie expert, though. That's just my take on it, but good point. All right, we're going to go back inside the locker room. We're going to hear from Leon Draisaitl. He did not have a good game. If you're wondering what Draisaitl's stats were tonight, he ends up with, let's see here, 2 assists, 20-47 time on ice, even, 2 shots, 2 block shots, 4 giveaways, costly ones, and 60% on the dot. Nancito, if we can, let's hear from Leon Draisaitl.
You can't say about that goal, Leon, but just take us through what happened there.
Well, I mean, it's obviously we didn't sort it out very well to let the puck get into the slot, but I think after that it's just unlucky. It's unfortunate. Obviously, it goes off my stick. I'm just trying to keep it out of the net, obviously, and it's just a bad bounce.
You had a couple goals against it, quick hitter, like 55 seconds or something earlier on in the game. There are just a couple of letdowns tonight that were pretty costly.
Yeah, obviously the first one, I get stripped there. That puck should probably just go in, so that's obviously on me, but I think just the quickness of the two of them deflated us a little bit, so obviously something to look at.
Similar kind of maybe in Game 1, Leon, you guys were down, and then you guys didn't give up anything. Corey said it was kind of tough after going up 2-0 to create offense. What do you feel you need to do to get back on track creating offense?
Just get back to what we did the first 10 minutes, moving our feet, making plays. Just get back to that.
Yeah, how do you feel like the team's game has gone since game 1 overall? Do you feel like there's room for improvement? Or
certainly. It's a little, I think, inconsistent the last 2 nights. Stretches where we were playing really well, and then stretches where we're giving up a little too much, spending too much in our D zone. So we'll look at it.
So obviously it's a tough way to lose a game here. How do you guys deal with this as a group? How long do you stay frustrated for, and how quick you got to move on to the playoffs?
I mean, there's no time. Obviously, it stings. Right now, it's an unfortunate way to lose, but that's on us. And tomorrow's a new day. We'll move on.
How do you take stock of where the series is at? You're close to going to overtime with potential goal 3-0, but you're still up 2-1.
Yeah, it's nice to be up 2-1 still. Obviously, 2 days from now, there's a new chance to go up 3-1 and go back to Vegas.
All right, that's Leon Draisaitl following his team's 4-3 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Yes, indeed, they have a chance to go back to Vegas with a 3-1 lead. They need to play better than tonight. Guys, I'm going to get to the turning point of the game. Brought to you, as always, by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. And like they like to say at Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy, Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. So get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. at Advantage Sports Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9999 or 9977. 460-9977. It was nice to have Emily and Norm in studio on the hangout yesterday from Advantage Sport Med. Your turning point of the game came with 0.4 seconds left on the clock. A special mention to the 54 seconds it took the Golden Knights to tie the game up. Belzy, I agree with you. That did deflate the building. It was a shock to the Oilers. It was a boost for the Golden Knights. But you get the equalizer late in the game, and then all of a sudden, with 0.4 friggin' seconds left, you put it in your own net. Pat Janex in the nasty chat said, "You're wrong. Draisaitl did have a goal tonight." That was funny of PJ, yeah.
That's the tough part of it, right? He got the dreaded own goal after, was it McNabb's skate that put in the third one? So not quite the same. And that's the crazy thing. If Draisaitl would have left it, it goes wide. But a player in that situation has to assume it's going in and try to stop it. But I haven't even seen a replay yet. Just seeing it live, I thought, my God, but why are the Oilers like when the puck goes down the ice? I'm like, hey, we're going to overtime. What is Karlsson possibly going to do with 5 seconds left? Well, he's going to send it in front to a wide open guy. That's, to me, that's more disappointing than what Draisaitl did. Like, at least Draisaitl's trying to do the right thing in the last minute, but everything else just got messed around. And fair enough to that text, you said maybe Skinner could have played it better. My point is, if Skinner plays it normally, Reilly Smith is shooting from position A with 2.5 seconds left. Like, Skinner's trying to run him out of time. So anyway, that's all I'm saying there. But they blew it. Like, they didn't play well enough overall. And then what have we been talking about for the last 2.5 weeks? Late game situations. The Oilers messed it up. That's Milt Stiegel 100 yards all over again.
That's 106 yards,
or whatever
actually.
It was.
Yeah. Belzy.
Yeah, I'm still kind of at a loss for words. That last goal, to me, it's a 1-on-4. It's you got a bad back check. You get 3 other guys that get beat to the puck. In my opinion, Kulak stopped skating when he could have skated and probably just scrummed the puck below the goal line. He could have gone stick on puck. He goes for the hit, which allows Karlsson to shoot that thing out. And then it's just, it's a calamity of errors. And unfortunately, it ends up in the back of your net, and you don't have an opportunity to win it in overtime. And it does sting. But what we've seen from the Oilers is they've been able to bounce back. And, you go back to Series 1 and the game where they clawed their way back into the game. And once again, another fluky goal goes in. And they just figured out a way to get better, and they need to bounce back. They need to regroup, shake it off, watch some video to see what they did wrong, critique themselves, and then get going from there. Because this series is winnable, and they have the ability to do it when they're playing at their best. Because in my opinion, once again, I think they're the better team when they were playing their game.
This loss is every bit as crushing as Game 2 was to Vegas, and Vegas came back and played excellent tonight. So I don't think this means the series is decided one way or the other. Any team that's gone deep in the playoffs or that's won a cup has had a crushing loss or two along the way. So they got to recover. So I wouldn't necessarily, say, well, that's it. The Oilers can't bounce back, because I'm sure. Vegas might have felt worse after how they lost Game 2, because you kill off that penalty and you think now you're gonna win it. But you're right, Belzy. They have to examine some things, and I do think Knoblauch and the staff are going to be tested here, because there's clearly some strengths that Vegas has been able to flex their muscles with that are preventing the Oilers. One of you guys said it earlier, like the middle of the ice. That's where it all happens. And the Oilers were not there nearly enough. Like, how many scrums around Hill were there? How many times guys banging at rebounds? Yeah. And to be fair, maybe there weren't a lot around Skinner either, but Vegas had more offensive zone time. I don't know what the clock would have been. Certainly to my head, it felt that way.
All right, let's go to Hernan really quickly. Actually, not really quickly. Nanso, you have an update to pass along on an injury, and then let's get some thoughts from you.
Yeah, I guess Cassidy has said that Mark Stone is day-to-day, so take that with a grain of salt, just like Calvin Pickard is day-to-day. so we're not. It's not really breaking news, but yeah.
So in the playoffs, that either means he practices tomorrow or is in a full body cast 9-month recovery.
Because they said upper body, right?
Yeah, well, he did have that one awkward play where he went down, and was it Hyman that kind of caught his arm? He came back for a couple of shifts, but then missed the rest of the game, played 6 minutes tonight. I think that's what it was. Nat, so what else are you seeing in the nasty chat and in the inbox as well?
Yeah, the nasty chat, the usual, Stuart Skinner's fault and all that. But, yeah, I think you guys have nailed every point. Like the turnovers, 17 turnovers in the game. Draisaitl obviously off tonight once again. Don't know if it's an injury or if he's just struggling. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see with Calvin Pickard. I mean, I still think they can win a game with Stuart Skinner, guys, but I know for the fan base, they want Cal back as soon as possible. So the next couple of days are going to be very interesting to see, because if Pickard's good to go, guys, he's obviously going to get game 4. If not, you got to keep believing in Stuart Skinner that he can. Because who said it? Cass. He made some good saves when it was 3-2, 3-3, guys, right? But again, it's not enough. He's not giving you that big save that Calvin Pickard is. So I think the next couple days are going to be very interesting for the Edmonton Oilers when we talk about, the goaltender and the status of the guy everybody wants in there right now.
Well, one guy is 6-0, and the other guy is 0-3, and one guy lets in a minimum of 4 goals every time he's out there. As good as he had, some moments there tonight, it ain't happening for Stu Skinner in these playoffs, that's for sure. All right, do we have any more interviews to get to, Hernan?
We can run Coach.
You guys want to hear from Kris Knoblauch?
I didn't get to hear it yet. I'd love to.
Okay, let's go to Kris Knoblauch's press conference following his team's 4-3 loss tonight.
Stuart Skinner has informed us that he is starting. Can you provide a brief update on Calvin Pickard and then what you're looking for from Skinner tonight?
Let me bring you back.
Right.
I just got to get the other one. Sorry.
That one was from this morning. All right. I'll get to some text in the meantime as we continue on here. Gazzola, Wilkins, Belle with you. Hernan, Salas back at EST Global HQ. We are live on location at the Canadian Ice House, a dejected Canadian Ice House. People are just going like, what the hell happened? What the Jeez. That's Ronnie Oceanfront texting in, says this is twice this playoffs where the Oilers tie it late and then let in a late game winner with the big guns out there. Get those guys off. Let the Connor Browns and Adam Henriques close out the game and get it to OT. I don't think a lot of people are going to argue that tonight, especially that's twice they've been bitten, like Ronnie Oceanfront brought up. All right, let's go back into Rogers Place. This one from the most recent Kris Knoblauch press conference.
Was the last play of the game perhaps a microcosm of some of the challenges you guys had in a lot of the night, where they did a lot of the little things that help you win games, and you guys didn't manage situations sometimes with the puck, the amount of turnovers through the first 2 periods, and even in the final seconds very well?
Yeah, anytime there's turnovers in the neutral zone, you don't want. We're not a team that's can always dump and chase and put it behind. You never want any mistakes, but it is the game, and you try and limit those as much as possible. The game-winning goal, we're in good position. We've got, really it's a 1-on-3. He dumps the puck and they retrieve it, and we're just playing a little desperate to try and make the play, block the shot, and what happens is they make a play, and unfortunate that that's the end of it.
You can make an argument tonight your best player was 6 days away from turning 40. Do you need more out of everyone?
I don't know about that. Corey put in a really good game tonight, and I think some other guys did too. But we know Vegas is a good team. They're not going away, and we're going to need everyone chipping in and playing as best as they can.
Kris, leads, for both teams have been tough to hang on to, in the series, and I guess maybe in the playoffs in general. Like, what are you kind of seeing, whether when they're leading when you guys are leading, they're just tough to hang on to, it seems.
Yeah, I have no understanding why the leads have been changing as much as they have been. You know, I don't see teams changing how they're playing. You know, they're making mistakes. You know, we made a couple mistakes later in the first half, or second half of the first period, which you know, it's unfortunate. Anytime you get the 2-0 lead, you know, you want to stick with it, keep pushing, playing the same way, making it hard for them to generate things, because ultimately they have to cheat a little bit of the game to get back in the game. But I don't feel like they had to cheat to create any offense. I think we just made some mistakes and gave that to them.
You had held fairly firm with your lines the last number of games. You made some tweaks there late second, maybe third period. How'd you split those guys up? What were you looking for, and what did you think you saw after that?
Just balancing our lineup a little bit, and getting a few more guys going, that's all.
Kris, how did you think Stu played in goal, not having played in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I think he made some really big saves, especially early in the game on the penalty kill. Again, I don't think there's any bad goals. It's just we put him out in difficult situations to defend.
The last play of the game where they won, it looked like he was challenging the shot, but it's one of those ones where the Vegas player, rather than shoot, just went around him. I mean, the goalie's probably figuring at that time of the clock, he's just hammering the puck at me.
Yeah, not only Stu, but everyone on the ice is just desperation mode. Everyone's selling out to make that last save, and unfortunately there was just an extra 0.4 seconds on the clock to allow that play to happen.
Kris, could you maybe just break down what happened on their third goal with that line change?
We just got caught out there a long time, and we just had a change which led to the goal against, and it leads to just not being able to sustain pressure, and that happens in the second period when you have to defend a long period of time, and then you can get one, maybe two guys off, but I think we had a little more of a wholesale change.
Kris, it felt like you guys were by far the best team in game one for 40, maybe even 50 minutes. How do you make, or what do you make of your team's game over the last couple of games since then?
I think there's areas to improve on. I think in the first two games, I was very surprised that we were able to win both games without winning the special teams battle. Tonight was a different story. The penalty kill did their job. Power play gets a goal. So I felt that, if we can win that special team battle, we'd be in a much better position. And unfortunately, we were able to still lose the game. So, yeah, there's things that we can get better at. I think our energy, our execution the first period was good. We just got to maintain that.
So you score a late goal in the third period. You're moments away from going to overtime with a chance to go up 3-0. You're still up 2-1. So how do you kind of parse that? What do you kind of make
before
of
the series starts, if you were to tell us that we were going to be up 2-1 after 3, we'd be happy. We'd be very pleased with that. And not only up 2-1, but game 4 at home. And we're looking forward to that.
All right, there's Kris Knoblauch looking on the bright side. They are still up 2-1 in this series, a chance to totally redeem themselves after a very, very deflating loss in game number 3. Gazzola, Wilkins, Belle, and Nanso with you as we continue on here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. I'll start with you, Belle. Anything really stand out to you from what Kris Knoblauch said? Because he's not going to get too high. He's not going to get too low.
No, there's nothing that he said that I don't think we touched on already. They made some errors. They turned the puck over outside of that first period. They didn't really sustain much pressure. It was a lot of less than one and dones, and they got to get back to their game, and they got to start skating and getting in on the forecheck, because they are actually a very good forechecking team. The one thing I will say, however, I think I've said it to Maddie, they were hard on Pietrangelo. He took probably 5, maybe 6 big hits. That's something they obviously got to continue with. But outside of that, just find your game, make those plays, but find another level, and that's what you're going to have to do to be able to beat the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're a good team, they're a deep team, and they make it hard for you.
Reid.
That's a really good point, Shawn. Another level. Vegas found another level after losing game one. I don't think the Oilers have, at least not consistent. Maybe at times in game two. Maybe a little bit tonight, but not really. I will say this, at least they killed off their penalties tonight. And they did get a power play goal. So the special teams, I think the PK is better at home as well. I don't know what that discrepancy is. So I'll give that as a little bit of a positive. But they got to make it harder on the Golden Knights, and they got to get the puck to the other end of the ice. So they just weren't moving tonight. Like, it just was that it was kind of a tentative game, I thought, too. Like, I think both teams wanted to play lower event after combining for 9 goals last game, but Vegas did it better because they had the puck more, right? So at least they're like, okay, maybe nothing's happening, but odds are we're going to get the break or the goal because we got the puck the majority of the time.
Okay, really quickly on the PK at home. It's now 7 for 9. Or no, yeah, it is 7 for 9. Goes 2 for 2 tonight. That was, it was 5 for 7 going in, and that was 12th best in the postseason to this point. So 55% on the road, awful. 71.4% at home coming into tonight. It goes 2 for 2 for tonight. So yes, better, but not to the point of being like, oh, wow, they're way better at home on the PK.
Well, technically they are way better at home, but semantics, right?
Well, that was their first home loss of the postseason too, by the way.
Yeah.
So they've been playing good at home. All right, Nat, so you want to jump in with some final thoughts? We're going to go around the horn here. You start.
Yeah, like I said, I think the big storyline heading into Monday night's games, the status of Calvin Pickard. I don't anticipate any line changes for this team. They're going to roll with the one. They're still up 2-1. I know a lot of people are acting like the Oilers are down 3-0. It's an elimination game on Monday, but pump the brakes. There's another gear they could find. We've all seen it. They've shown it in glimpses here in the last couple of games, so they got to be better. We'll await word on Mark Stone as well, which is a big one as well for the Vegas Golden Knights. But just looking forward to Monday, and I expect the Oilers to have a better effort. Doesn't mean it will lead to victory, but you need a better effort.
And so we're also going to do the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Him and his team would obviously want to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Who is the player of the game, my friend?
I think it's a pretty obvious one tonight. Reilly Smith, 2 goals. Actually, the first one was actually brilliant. He went by Arvidsson and Podkolzin. Cole's 5-hole on Stuart Skinner. And then, of course, the winner, guys. A lot of luck on that one with going wide and putting it on net with Leon deflected. But Reilly Smith was good. +3 on the night, 16-38, 4 shots on net, and the game winner.
Reid, Rick, your thoughts going into game number 4 on Monday?
Yeah, well, just like we talked about, you gotta find a way to forecheck, get the puck through the neutral zone, have some energy, have your feet moving, and get it on their defense. Like, make it tough for them to break out. Because too much of the game was in the Oilers' end of the ring.
Belzy, your thoughts?
Find another level, find another gear, get back to your game, get on the forecheck, be physical against the Knights' defense, and we'll get back and keep the crowd into it. And I think we'll, by the end of Monday, it'll be 3-1 going into Vegas.
Ooh, very positive, Belzy. I like that. I would like to read you guys this final text to close out the night. It's from Paulie Deuce. Paulie Deuce is a little feisty, so I'm going to get ready with the expletive button. Paulie Deuce says, anyone blaming Skinner tonight is out of their mind. Edmonton played like after going up 2-0 in the game. They hung Skinner out to dry multiple times where he made really big saves. Vegas' third goal, Edmonton went for a line change after not getting the puck deep and left Skinner out to dry. Second goal, Podkolzin and Arvidsson let Smith walk in past them, and just watch the first one was a bad rebound and a strange bounce. I'd like to see Skinner have that one. Last one, I thought Skinner played it well considering the time of the game, but then instead of going through the crease, Draisaitl deflected it in. Obviously, split-second decision. Draisaitl probably would like to have another chance at it. That from Paulie Deuce, and then Taco adds in. Hill had another not-so-great game. The Oilers blew a good chance to take a stranglehold on this series. I fully expect Hill to steal a game at some point. I hope I'm wrong. Well, we'll see. I mean, we knew it was going to be a good series. These are two very good teams. It's not going to be easy. Someone, I think it was, who was it? Dave in Section T said no one except Hernan picked a sweep in this one. Hernan did the broom thing in studio yesterday.
I also picked an Oilers sweep.
You had the sweep?
Yeah, I picked them to sweep LA too. I figured, why not? If I'm picking them, I'll just pick sweeps.
You are.
Why not?
I love it. I love it.
You are a bold man.
Well, predictions are for fun, so I might as well have fun with them.
Yeah.
No kidding, hey? I had the Oilers in 6, so
could happen.
That's what I'm still standing by that one. Vegas is a good team. They're gonna win. They're gonna win games. I don't personally think this is an easier series than the one that they just played. I just think this is going to be a very different series.
Yeah, that's a fair point. All right, boys. Bellsy, thank you for being on with us all show long. Reid was absolutely tremendous as always. People are saying you look very dapper tonight, Reidrick.
I think you said that, but thank you.
No, there's a bunch of text too. I also said it as well.
That's very, very kind.
Yes, you guys are awesome. That's why we do this, and we love doing this, is because it's a lot of fun, and we work with people that we love. We hope you guys listened and watched, enjoyed the game despite the result from the Oilers. Big thank you to Nikki, Tian, and the entire staff here at the Canadian Ice House. Hernan, Salas, excellent, making sure everything is running smoothly back at EST Global HQ. A huge thank you to him. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers fall 4-3 really late in the game to the Vegas Golden Knights. They're still up, though, 2-1 in this series, and we'll look to take a 3-1 series lead on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday, everyone. For Reid, for Bellsy, for Hernan, and Cass, I'm Tom Gazzola saying good night.